Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 72nd episode of Track Help on this fine Sunday evening. And we've got a whole host of footage to go through over the course of the next hour. Let's go in first submit, first review order. If we can find the first comment, that will be from Naveed. He needed some help on turns 1, 2, and 3. I believe this is an indoor track, K1 speed, if I'm not mistaken. We're then going to go on to Ritvik, who's got some outdoor footage, and he's got a nice description over here, which we're going to go over regarding braking. And we'll round it off with Yuvan, who's got some footage of the Muscat Speedway. Now, Jeremy, if we got time, we will come to you. Thanks for obviously joining on time as well. And we'll get right into things. Naveed, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Amazing. Naveed, tell us the name of this track then that you've submitted in the background.
It's Speeders Calgary.
Speeders Calgary. Is that in Canada or in the States?
Yeah, it's in Canada.
Amazing. Which part of Canada is this in?
It's in Calgary.
Calgary. I'll be honest, I've not really heard of anything more than Montreal and Toronto. So that's the first for me, Calgary. Is that far from Montreal, where they do the F1, for example?
It's near, do you know the Rocky Mountains?
Not familiar with the Rocky Mountains, though.
It's the west side.
It's the west side of Canada. Okay. So do you guys have majority indoor tracks there or outdoor tracks? What's more popular?
It snows a lot, so I don't think we have any outdoor tracks besides owner kart track.
That's interesting. Yeah. So this is basically your local track that you're going to then?
Yeah.
Amazing. How long have you been karting for, Naveed?
I've been familiar with it for a while, but I've been getting into it just recently.
Amazing. And is this the only track you've driven, or you've done some other tracks?
There's another Speeders a little bit closer to the south. I've done that, but I think that's about it.
Cool. So far you're just getting into karting. Your experience has basically been indoor tracks. Has it only been electric karts as well? The ones that we see in the background over here?
Yeah.
How are these cars? These are very, very unique to K1.
Sorry?
How are these electric karts, handling wise, feeling wise, compared to what you may have expected before stepping into the car for the first time?
They're mostly good. Just the only thing is, I think sometimes on the weekdays, if you go, the cars just kind of sit there because no one comes. So tires are really cold and stuff.
Gotcha. These electric cars, based on people's feedback from around the world, particularly from your side, the States or in Canada, because they're very unique to that side, have said that they're a lot heavier than normal. Now, electric cars are obviously heavy because of the batteries and things. These are just a lot more heavier than normal. And you probably find that if you take a lot more speed through a corner, if it's a high grip section, for example, does the kart shake a lot? Does it feel like it's vibrating a lot?
Well, they have a couple different speeds. They have junior karting, adult karting, and then once you've done a bunch of races, you can do a pro speed test. I did the pro speed test, and in the pro speed, you go a lot faster. It's, I think, 75 kilometers an hour.
Amazing.
Just in this section here that I'm going through, it gets really bumpy. And
yeah.
A lot.
Couple of factors with the bumps. It can be track surface related. Obviously, the amount of speed you're taking through there as well. It looks like this is quite a simple layout, though, right? It's a 400 meter, 300 meter track. What would you say? What would you guesstimate?
Yeah, probably around a 400 meter. I don't know though for sure.
Gotcha. Is there any way to share the exact spelling of the track in the chat over here? I just want to bring up some kind of a track map before we get into the nitty-gritty parts. On the Google chat over here, you can just see on the bottom right. And we'll welcome in Harry in the meantime as well. What's up, Harry?
Hi.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Track Help, Harry.
Thank you.
We've got the track over here, and hopefully if we hit images, we should be able to see some kind of a track layout. Have you been able to find a track layout, Naveed, at all?
They have like a little sheet of paper when you go there, but I didn't really look online.
Cool. Have you got a track map of your own then, which you're keeping as a record?
No, I haven't.
Cool. I recommend you do that. The reason why track map is very, very important is simply because you're able to experiment different interpreted lines. So, for example, I mean, how often do you go karting?
Probably weekly, maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah, every week. So every week you got a chance to get on the track. Not only that, then you can try to experiment new lines. Do they change the layout regularly, as they mentioned on this Facebook post, for example?
They do change it, I think maybe once every 2 months.
Is this an accurate representation of what you're driving currently?
No.
That does not look like it.
I don't think so.
It looks like it's very, very scarce in terms of.
Yeah, kind of like that.
This is one of the corners for sure, but again, we don't have that piece of paper that you're referring to over here on images. So let's just get back to the footage. Now, the reason why track map is so important, you're able to see an overhead shot of what you're dealing with. When you can zoom out and start looking at the combination, the flow of corners, it helps you plan a line. And that's exactly what you wanted to discuss today. Turns 1, 2, and 3. When was the fastest lap in this session, you reckon? Beginning, middle, end?
For pro.
Just in the session that we're watching, which timestamp do you think the best lap is?
Sorry, you just froze there.
Okay, I was saying in this session, where was the best lap set? Was that towards the end of the session?
1 sec. I think they emailed me the.
I would assume it's probably towards the end. It looks like you got a clearer run, and obviously you've warmed up through there. Now you've got a good amount of you've got a decent angle going on over here. I have to say.
It was, I believe, the 10th lap.
Perfect. I think we're looking towards the 10th lap over here. Let's just scroll back and let's get to once you pass this drive over here and begin a clean run. Turns 1, 2, and 3 are basically a combination of hairpin turns. Guys, am I freezing or is it just me that?
Yeah.
You did once a little bit, but not
Just once,
like
yeah?
frequently.
Okay. No, I can just hear some lag whilst I'm talking, so I just don't want to make sure I'm coming out cleanly. Where's our lap over here? Right, we're coming towards the last corner, and I believe this is the start-finish line. Is that correct, Naveed? Last corner going on to the start-finish line?
I can't see the track anymore.
Okay, let's just bring that up over here. Are you able to see now?
Yeah.
I think this is the start-finish line, the first corner.
Yeah, that is.
Perfect. Turn 1 is basically a right-hand hairpin. Right now, are you taking this with a bit of braking, flat out? What's your current approach for turn 1?
I lift off just before the corner a little bit.
Okay.
But I tried braking in the pro speed karts, found that was faster. I don't know in these karts it is.
Which ones are these? Like the middle level?
This is the adult kart. So this is, yeah, the middle level.
Gotcha. Turn 1 transitions into turn 2, which is the tight left-hand corner over here. And would you say that was this whole thing is turn 2, and then coming up is turn 3, or?
Yeah, I think so.
And this is turn 3 over here that we're looking at. Cool, cool, cool. If we're able to even illustrate, because this is the effectiveness of a track map, and why don't we just draw it out? It looks like your first corners are going to be something like this. So we've got a right-hand hairpin, which then leads into a left-hand hairpin, which is slightly longer, and then it's turn 3, which is another right-hand hairpin. So if we take these corners in isolation, have a bit more of a track width, it gets wider for turn 2. Turn 3 is probably a lot tighter as well, something like this. Turn 1, you got 2.
So actually, also the last corner.
Yep.
Was in the pro speed karts, I was struggling to take it flat Should it be flat?
We'll come to that in just a moment. For turn one, I like your approach. I think it's important that we should prioritize a better exit. So you want to think, okay, how can I be fast coming out of this corner? And where are you currently lifting? Late, early in the turn? How's it going for you?
Probably where it first kind of starts to turn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, right around there.
Cool. The idea is to go for an early lift. Hopefully get it back onto the accelerator pedal early and just delay your turn in. The later we can turn in for the first corner, the more chances are we're going to end up hitting a late apex. And I need you to start exiting the corner on the right-hand side of the track. Why do you think we should exit towards the right-hand side of the track over here?
Probably to prepare for turn 2.
Exactly. We want to approach as wide as possible, so it opens up the angle of this corner for turn 2. And turn 2, is that flat out? Is that again a lift, a brake in these cars?
It's more of a brake just to the beginning of the turn.
Yep.
Just a quick just tap on the brakes, and that's pretty much it.
Nice. Quick tap on the brakes.
The brakes in the cart are really easy to lock. So
yeah. If we look at this corner, which is a double apex corner, 1, 2, you want to prioritize the second one and go for a smooth arc like this. So you can end up once again on the left-hand side of the track now, which becomes the outside for turn 3. So what happens is we take a sort of shallow apex for 2, while it's building up speed, because we've just completed braking here, and then we're building up speed in this period. And then we tighten up that steering angle as you get closer and closer to the second apex, which you want to hit. Turn 3 as well, I'd say copy-paste what you've basically done for turn 1, line-wise. I assume you're braking though for turn 3?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Perfect. So let's go back to the footage. Let's see how we can compare our interpreted line to currently what's going on, and obviously use some references. For example, the tire barriers, the actual parts where you can apex at the corner, because on an indoor track, it's really made up of these blue and white barriers. Let's just make sure that the pen is actually highlighting over here. That would be helpful. Okay, there we go. So turn 1, it's actually winding slightly to the right, and then you've got your sharp right hand U-turn, you can say. It's obviously a hairpin. What you can do for this corner is attack it, right? Especially when the corner starts winding to the right, because the apex is a lot deeper than you think. The apex is actually where my black circle is, somewhere up over here. Utilize the outer part of the track, especially when we want to try and hit a late apex, like we drew on the interpreted line. Use a bit more the outside of the track. And then now, once you see these dark lines on the track, that's a signal we're getting closer and closer to the corner. It's better to lift off in these carts. Probably the faster carts, you go for a brake. Earlier you lift, earlier you brake, and turn at the same time. It'll rotate the cart. Don't turn in too early where we're hitting the early apex, which is where like this pillar is or this red barrier. We want to go towards the latter part of the corner, and we want to be tight, similar to what you're doing over here. Get as close as possible though towards the inside of the apex. Close the distance. Exit the corner once again towards the right hand side of the track, right? So what's happening here now on this lap, for example, entering on the left, it becomes too tight, the angle of the corner. Tighter we enter the corner, and the wider we are at the apex. Yeah, we've got all this space that we can definitely close in. So all you want to do, enter turn 2 a little wider, take a shallow apex for the first corner, so don't go too close here, sort of go around it, but then tighten up your steering angle for the second part, and really close the distance now to this apex. Hug this left-hand corner. Accelerate out as you come towards turn 3. Turn 3, we can see in the slow motion footage, a lot tighter. And I'd say you do a decent effort over here based on what we can see. When we want to push the limits of the cart, use entry and apex references. So number 1 is going to be this outer barrier. Try to come all the way to the left-hand side. Earlier we can brake.
Yeah, I just actually.
Go ahead.
I'm just braking at that red pillar there.
Okay. Oh, somewhere here. This one.
Yeah. Just I don't know. You can, yeah.
This red pillar. Bring it back earlier. Sort of where this white barrier you can say is. earlier we can brake, the more control we have on the car. Then sharp, late turning. Look, you're getting much closer to the apex over here. You can see you're closing the distance now. This is how we want to be. Carry that momentum towards the outside of the track again, as much as you need. Now, the more speed you're carrying, the more you'll feel, I need to get to the outside. The less speed you carry, you'll feel you can comfortably stay within the middle of the track on the exit. Yeah. Let's just go ahead to this last corner, because it's an interesting point you made. In a faster car, should you go flat out? I think if you can utilize the full width of the track like you're doing over here on the left, sharp turn, lean your body to the outside, right? Leaning can help rotate the car and get as close as possible to the inside over here. Definitely want to close the gap to this inside apex. Then you should theoretically have a smooth run. One key thing to note about the exit over here, it comes on you very, very quickly. It's a very, very tight exit. So I would start off with a slight lift just to avoid, plowing into the outside barrier, and then push the limit slowly. Okay, lift 50%, then lift 75% if you can. And after that, go almost full send and hope that there's enough runoff, because really there's not much runoff on the exit over here. When are you going to go to the track next?
There's actually a tournament tonight, and I'm participating in that.
Amazing, amazing. Well, these are some easy implementations to add for the tournament tonight in terms of line-wise, right? Turn 1 and turn 3 are carbon copy. You want to go deep into these corners, control your braking or lifting, so you're reducing the speed, and then a sharp late turn. Again, don't turn in too early so that we hit the apex too early, but also when we do turn in, make sure we're closing the distance to the apex. What that allows us to do is have maximum speed on the corner exit. If we do that line for turn 1, we're going to end up on the right-hand side of the track. So then it opens up the angle for turn 2, right? And turn 2, skip the first part of the apex, hug the second part of the apex. Make sure you're accelerating through and closing the gap towards this inside barrier. All right? Yeah. Let us know how it goes, Naveed. And we look forward to hearing how the tournament goes, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
It's always a pleasure. We're going to move on to actually Gabriel, who's got his hand up over here. What's up, Gabriel? Can you hear us? If you got a mic, give us a hi.
Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
What's up, Gabriel? Welcome to Track Help.
So I was here not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, for my road tax. I'm not sure if you remember me.
I was going to say, I recognize the voice.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to help this kid out a little bit because I was legit just at this track like last weekend.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I just want to say, so on Pro Speed, I was only a couple tenths off track record because I was doing a fun night with the boys. And they have the track record at this track. And I just want to say, so when we're in Pro Speed, we're hitting around 60 kilometers max, and we're not braking anywhere. So the only part where we're braking on Pro Speed is, so you see as you're going down here, is we go super wide on the left here. We tap the brake a little and we dive pretty deep in the corner because these cars can take it since they're really heavy. And then with the steering, I see sometimes you're steering a bit too hard. You want to really have really light steering because these carts, if you steer too hard, they'll just drag along the whole way. And then on this turn here, you want to approach it really on the left. So we go through here, yeah, on the left. So you want to be pretty much almost touching that outside barrier. And then since this is adult speed, you shouldn't really be braking too much. Just a pretty tight turn in without steering too hard. So I see here, this is already too far steering. You want to be pretty neat on the steering, and you want to go all the way wide around the track. So I see you're trying to cut towards the middle, but by cutting towards the middle, you're kind of dragging the cart a little more. So if you just go all the way on the outside, you'll carry momentum. And then after this, so let's go.
Yep, just over here.
After that turn, you want to go pretty wide, and then you want to cut really tight. So no lift. This is all flat out. You want to be super close to the barriers here. At first, it's a little scary to go through because it feels like you're going to crash because just the way that these carts handle. But if you can go just a bit tighter, you'll save 1 or 2 tenths. So here, if you can go even tighter here towards the right side, the right side of the barrier there, go way tighter, you'll save much more time there. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
Amazing. This is why Track Help is so awesome, because yes, it's a public broadcast, right? We're on YouTube, but I think Gabriel, you joined because you saw it on YouTube, and then you saw, oh, hold on, I can hop in, right?
Yeah.
It was by chance that
It was
he
really
said, "Hold on,
interesting.
there's another guy at Speedsters who's in."
Yeah, exactly.
And that way you can not only get the opinion from myself, but then of course other experienced drivers who, in Gabriel's case, he's done it there. He's a few tenths off the track record, and it makes a lot of sense what you're actually saying for turn 3. If we just go back over here, that's an interesting approach where we want to attack this corner.
We want to be super
wide as
wide
possible.
there. Even wider on the left. So he's kind of in the inside here. You want to go like right at that barrier.
Like they say in the Monaco Grand Prix, make the track as wide as possible. Brush up against the barriers. Quite literally, you can do that here. And then the more you attack the entry, you'll feel, I want to use the exit, right? If you could just put a few degrees less steering angle, and you'll gain that lap time by running out wide over there and carrying a bit more speed. Do you guys sort of live in the same area? Calgary?
I live in Edmonton.
Okay.
I live in Edmonton, but I was just in Calgary for a couple of days because I was racing in Strathmore, and I was like, "Hey, there's a speeders
I was there
here."
yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
It's a small world, and
Yeah.
karting is all of it. Finally, do you have any tracks for Naveed to try out? Any recommendations?
Any tracks? I would go to in Edmonton, we have a track called Drive. It's in the West Edmonton Mall. It's a very technical track, so it could help you learn a lot more about how to use track space and where to accelerate properly, and it could also teach you how to brake a bit better.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Of course, man.
That's awesome. You guys are both on the academy, so you can sort of DM, you can stay in touch over there, and it'll be nice to exchange race experiences, I'm sure, with each other.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to Ritvik. Before we do that, we had a couple of questions from is Whisper Gabrielle on YouTube chat? Or this is someone else?
That is me. That is
me.
Okay,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, you said no way, I was there last week, lol, and then you joined in. Amazing.
Yeah.
They unfortunately changed the layout even a couple of months ago, so I don't think it'll be available online. Gotcha. Ritvik, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Amazing, Ritvik. How have you been?
I have been great, and I have been to Go Karting about 12 to 13 times since we last talked.
Amazing. So plenty of experience under your belt. When was this footage recorded?
This was about a week ago, about 5 days ago.
So it's still very much relative. And was this a new track that you're driving at?
Yes, this was a
one
new
we
one.
haven't seen before. If you're able to put in the chat the spelling, I can bring you up on Google Maps over here. That'll be helpful.
Yes, of course.
And I'm just going to run over your question in the meantime. The track was a bit confusing for me. The owner mentioned that no braking is required, but I found the hairpin turns tricky, especially the second one, which has a really wide apex. I'm not sure what the ideal line is for there. From what I noticed, most of the 3 hairpins don't really require braking. I recently started practicing trail braking and was amazed how effective it is. My question is, do we normally mainly use trail braking in tighter corners only, or can it also help me on tracks with more open spaces like this one? In situations like these, I just release the throttle and carry momentum through the corner instead. That's an interesting question. I think it really depends on your track layout, which we're going to have a look at in just a moment. Go ahead, Harry, and then we'll come to the beat.
I was going to mention about trail braking. I think it's a very big thing, across all karting, but I don't think it's. I think trail braking is too excessive. I feel like kind of finding a pressure to peak at and then kind of sit at one is more ideal in my opinion for kart, especially kind of slower karts.
Well noted. Yeah.
Today I was at a high speed track, and when you're coming into fast turns, it can do so much to bring the brake all the way to the apex, because it will still help you carry speed. Yeah, you're still kind of got the weight on the front.
Understood.
I think that's a great point that he's made over there. Is this the track, by the way?
Yes, this is the one.
Amazing, because the other one didn't have a track map, and I was getting worried for a second. Basically, we're dealing with a configuration which I believe the start finish line is in this direction, or is it in this direction?
It's the one, the second one.
Second one. So
No.
we start here and
Towards
we this
This
way.
is the one.
Perfect.
Yes.
Would you say the start line is here somewhere in the middle or top?
So I think this layout is quite old. They
Okay,
keep changing the layout frequently, and
interesting.
I don't think this is the right one.
Cool.
But yeah,
If you
this is definitely the track, but it's a bit
yeah,
changed.
it's just the layout that's slightly different.
Yeah.
In terms of the 3 hairpins, I'm gonna predict, is this one of the hairpins? Is this another one? I mean, the last one looks a bit like a hairpin, or not really?
Yeah, so the direction that you're going, it's the opposite one. So you
Okay.
see this at the center of the track, there is it's kind of a weird hairpin. So
Yeah.
we go towards the right. Yeah, towards the right. Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
so this was really confusing for me because I just could not analyze going up front which direction, or I mean which direction towards the apex I should be going.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really confusing for me.
Let's start off with that and see actually from the footage, because this is up to date. Seems to have crashed. That's great.
We can still hear you. So it's just
Okay, I think the screen is just frozen over here for me.
And
I completely cut out when I asked what camera you're using. What camera are you using?
it's the DJI Osmo Action 4.
Amazing.
And
I was gonna say,
also put up an ND filter on it.
right, that's it. It looks really sharp
Yeah.
and nice color variation, field of view. A lot of people have been suggesting to get DJI now, and simply for the reason it's very reliable. Have you experienced any issues or anything with it at all?
So with the camera itself, everything is just amazing. So there's this one thing I noticed. I planned to color grade my video a little bit, and what happened was I don't know if it was my MacBook, but because of being on 60 frames per second, yeah, because of being on 60 frames per second, there was a little bit of flickering. So I decided not to use the dynamic range and go with the colors that come default with the action camera. Everything else is completely fine. If you are worried about the battery life, if I was so what I did was I got the Action 4, even of the Action 5 Pro being still there. But there's this one thing that we can do. Action 5 Pro has a battery life of 4 hours, and the battery can be put into the Action 4. So I would suggest, if you have a budget, you can go with the 4 and get the battery of DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, and it basically doubles the battery life. Yes, your video now moves.
it's weird. It's saying you're muted. Right. So on one of them you're muted and you've got your face cam, and the other one you're talking, but you haven't got a face cam.
So that's the streaming
And
one.
you
I think
cannot
now it
change
should be good. Yep, there's no echo now. Cool. Let's just get it back on onto his onto Ridpic's video over here. Because I
Also,
hope that
before we
it's
start,
sure.
there was one other thing that I did on the action camera. I used the gyro data that was there, and this was recorded on wide, not on ultra wide. And later on, I used gyro flow to like stabilize the whole video. That I think was much better compared to what we have on the electronic stabilizer.
That makes sense. So there's really a nice setup going on over here. You've added these different parts to it, and if you could at some point, it'll be amazing just to share some links to all of this on an Academy post. It just it's just something I'm fascinated to find out about. Try it out as well.
I definitely will,
because the clarity over here is excellent. That's what I can see. you've made it look really vibrant and sharp. So really nice stability and settings too.
Right, I will definitely.
Going right back into the footage, this seems to be like a 7-minute session. Is that how it runs here? Like short sessions, basically?
Yep.
Cool. And you seem to be alone, if not one or two guys else on track.
So there was one more guy. He was running on a junior kart, and both were level 1 karts, and they had the same speed, but that was I think that had more horsepower or something.
Yeah.
They said they were on the same level, but that was really more fast.
So you're driving a slower one, technically.
Yes, I would say so.
Okay, right. But it's nice to have different cars to drive. So junior one, technically, you won't be able to drive that, right?
Yeah, because it's smaller in size.
Yeah. We have that also at my track, where the junior is actually sometimes on pace with adults, but it's things with weight, driver's weight, and
Right.
then they're able to really gain time on corner straights. Let's take a guess. Is it towards the end of the lap? The best lap was end of the session?
I would say it starts at 3.
Probably about 3. Cool. Let's check out a lap from 3. And I just want to go through a full lap so we can get an understanding of this layout. This is the start line, you'd say?
A little bit before this, about 10 to 15 meters, but yeah, you are right there.
So this is basically the pit lane entry.
Yes, this is where, yeah.
Last corner or first corner, you'd say this is?
This is the last corner.
Cool. Coming out the last corner, and then it's somewhere here, right? The start line.
Yes,
or we just passed it. Okay, cool. Going into a long straight, I'd say, building up nice speed. Seems to all be flat out until we get towards the triple right hairpin. Is this the one you're talking about? This is the triple right?
Yeah.
And you can see already. So from this angle, this is the corner exit. This is the apex exit. You can see how it goes from right and then sharp right and then left like that. So the shape already, you can tell, is slightly different. So what we've technically got here is first part of the apex. You can say this is early. You got the mid part, which is just over here. And then you got late, which is somewhere up here where the white tire is. What were you facing over here? You're just going too wide, carrying too much speed.
So if you go to the start, I was really bad, and this kind of apex was really confusing for me because I had never faced anything like this. I had normal hairpins, but this was really different. So I was confused if I should turn right towards the first apex or the second one, because the final one, I just could not understand where I am exiting. And you see all the space I have towards the left side once I cross the apex. I thought that I should just be turning all the way without slowing down because they have given me all the space and I would be faster that way. But
True. That is a unique
that
layout.
didn't
Just
seem
looking
to
at
work
this
out.
as well. Because what it is, it gets tight over here. Like you can see the apex. But then immediately from here, it just opens up. You've got all of this road now.
Yeah.
So just based on a couple of impressions of this so far, I think, definitely you can break it down into 3 parts. Hopefully our track map actually is still there. We don't have that going on. I might have to copy paste the name again. Could you add the name again in the chat of the track?
Yes, of course.
Because at least one of the corners are accurate to this layout. Add it onto maps. Yeah, let's try to go through. Turbo, that's it. And it's going to be the second one. No, not this one. See, this one doesn't show anything. So I'm a bit confused.
All right. I think these guys
There we
started
go.
recently. Yeah, this has to be the one. No, this is the other one. This is Turbo Drift.
This is actually the other one. Okay.
Yeah.
Similar corner, you can say. Look, this is almost a carbon copy, the right. Don't worry. Let's use the footage. Skip the first part, I'd say. make sure then you're slowing down early enough and hard enough as well. Because I think what's happening here is you're carrying a lot of speed. The kart's understeering. Were you lifting or braking? What was going on right now? Because I think you're just lifting, right?
Yes, right here I was just lifting, but
Yeah.
I tried braking right away and turning a lot. So I guess that's what trail braking is. I might be wrong because I'm not able to grasp what the actual fundamental
Yeah.
behind it is. But yeah,
It's a great question. With trail braking, what you're doing is hitting the brakes hard and late in the corner, and then as you turn into the corner, then you're slowly bleeding off the brakes. So it's it's really, with this corner, I think number one, start adding some braking in. It's going to have to be a progressive brake, right? I wouldn't necessarily say, okay, go for a trail brake, but don't go too hard, because let's say you go really hard over here on the brakes and then you've got the back end stepping out. You still got loads of the corner to go through, right? This is not a typical hairpin. It's actually, I'd say, a long apex, starting from here and then all the way to there. So it's more of a progressive brake, number one, to slow down speed. Slowing that speed down will allow you to then get closer and closer to the inside apex. That's what we're struggling with over here, right? Keeping this gap and distance. And by the time that now you get back on gas, you need to rebuild the revs. And in terms of positioning, we're way off to, where we need to be. So think of it in three easy parts. Number one, your entry. Entry looks good over here. Add in some braking. I'd say once you pass this early part, definitely get on the brakes. It's more going to be on feeling because there's no clear references. Get on the brakes. Once you get on the brakes, the kart is reducing speed, is going to be easier to close into the inside over here. Once we can close the gap to the mid and then late part of the apex, to start hugging this now, then you'll feel, okay, now I can start getting back onto the gas. And really, if we can prioritize hitting eventually this white tire, you can literally draw a straight line between the white tire and the next part of the corner where you want to be, right? Reduce the meters. Right now, we're driving around all of this, and then we're going to eventually meet back, right? We want to take this shorter path, which requires a bit more braking, a bit more turning. So then from the white tire, now you cut across the track where my yellow circle is, and basically end up somewhere here, which is the second pair of white tires, right? So definitely slow down the entry, get out to the inside, and then try to prioritize the white tire as your crucial apex point, so you can straight line it. Did anyone have their hand up just now? I heard a notification.
I did put it up, but
Go ahead. Did you have something to add?
It was usually talking about trail braking and how to imagine it. It's kind of like, the best way to look at it is like, if you search it up, you could probably find like a photo of like telemetry where it spikes up and it trails off like a tail. That's the only way to really describe it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit weird technique, and honestly, I've been learning it to do kind of sim racing and stuff exactly like that. I kind of do it in sim racing, and it's hard to learn, and it means a lot in that. In karting, it means a lot less, and especially with karts like these, the brakes are always feeling different, so you will never be able to get it bang on. So I mean,
and the travel is different to the car or the sim pedals, right? The Go Kart, which is really not ideal, because you might practice one thing on the sim and then trying to relate it to the car. Hold on, this feels totally different and not what I expected. So yeah, as Harry mentioned, think of it as initial spikes, a hard brake, and then you're just bleeding off that brake, so slowly releasing. Similar to how, when you apply gas and you slowly feed the gas, think of the opposite. So now we're slowly releasing off the brake. All about feeling, and the footwork. When are you visiting this track next, Ritwik?
I'll go again tomorrow because I have all the central and I am eager to try it out.
Amazing. This is a really, really easy approach that you can take for this corner. Let's try to tighten things up by braking a bit earlier. Definitely start adding braking for this corner, and then prioritizing the latter apex, so we can then start reducing meters to the next corner. We look forward to hearing how you get on. What was the timing in this session, lap time?
So the first one was about 58 seconds, and for getting qualified for a level 2 kart, I had to make it 52.9, but I ended up making 54 for the next 2 sessions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Mhm.
see what impact. See, keep everything the same. That's the only way we can experiment properly, and then change the line for that hairpin. See what difference it makes, right? And hopefully, it can get you lower than 52. That's the plan.
Right. Thank you so much.
We're
Thanks,
gonna have
Aaron.
to. It's been a pleasure as always. We're gonna have to move on to the next driver because we are running out of time over here. We'll take a comment from YouTube before we move on from Zishan. How often do you do these streams? These are every month. At the end of each month on the KTips Academy. It's free to join. Come over, and as you can see, it's a great discussion to be part of. You guys are obviously watching the live stream over there. Now, once you join in, you'll get a chance to chat to me, some other experienced drivers, get some feedback on certain clips that you might need some support on. Let's get right into Yuvan over here, who's got some footage from Muscat Speedway, and I have to say a track which holds a very special place in my heart, let's say. I've done a lot of racing there across the years. Believe it or not, speaking about the Middle East Kart Championship, which I just finished the training session for today. Muscat Speedway was the first host of the Middle East Kart Championship, the MENA Karting Championship. And each year, or I'd say 3 consecutive years, they hosted it 2020, 2021, 2022. Before then, it came to Qatar, where it's in 23, 24, and then 25 this year, the last year. Before, an unknown destination for the next 3 years of the MENA Karting Championship. So this is a typical public karting session. I'm afraid I'm for explanation purposes, in a moment, Yuvan, I'm going to have to switch to some better quality footage, right? Because this is a bit shaky. It's the angle is slightly off. But unfortunately, that's their rule, right? They don't allow helmet mounts.
Yeah, they don't allow helmet mounts nor body cams.
And no body cams. So they say you got to put it on the kart.
Yeah, on the kart, and that too, they say it's only allowed on the front nose cone.
Wow. If they ever...
Yeah, I think they changed the rules since I think recently the management has changed. So I think they changed the rules.
To this, where you can only put it on the front.
Yeah, I think so. Because I've in the past few years, I've seen people using helmet cams, but I'm not sure if they change the rules.
Right. Yeah, you see, they've always had that problem at Muscat. Even when I used to go for public karting before competitions, they said you can only put it on the kart. And that's the recipe to breaking a camera. If you ever want to break a GoPro, just make a rule. You guys can't put it on helmets, only put it on the karts. Because probability-wise, this has the highest chances of getting into incident. Let's say 2 karts crash each other, you go over the front nose cone. That's the camera gone. Also, the vibrations are so much heavier when you put it on the front nose cone. So that's why the GoPro helmet mount, the curved mount you put on the sticker, that sticker they use, it's a global safety standard that it follows. Very rarely does it actually fall off, if any time. And I mean, in my experience,
and actually, this is not the best camera, so it's just a budget cam.
That's fine. I mean, I know I've used budget cams on the helmet before, but because it's more stable, then it comes out clear. This is not bad. Just watching the first few minutes of it, I mean, it can be better, but we can see how obviously you're driving, what sort of lines you're taking. Ideally, the helmet cam then gives that point of view.
It gives a steering view and
the pedals, right? The footwork, because this is all important, right? We can tell you things about the lines, but then seeing actually what you're doing with your hands and feet is also important. It looks like you are driving the original layout, which is the extended portion.
I think the international layout.
International layout, that's it. Yeah. And they recently switched to these barrel carts?
I'm not sure, because the first time when I came here, which is around last year, I came around only about 3 sessions. They were using the same carts.
I've been following them on Instagram post
regularly here only from like last month.
Oh, from last month. Amazing. How often are you going karting over here?
About 6 sessions in a week.
6 sessions in a week. So you're doing plenty of track time. Yeah, that's excellent. So I think the next step for you is to join our fundamentals program, because that way we'll be able to get you up to speed quickly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a massive track. You mentioned it's the international layout.
Yeah, you can find the whole layout on Google.
Absolutely, no, I've studied this track many times for many
Yeah.
races, and this is what we're dealing with. One of the best
Yeah.
layouts, I'd say, is Sector 1, which I'm going to put in yellow, is
Yeah.
really underrated because it goes downhill, then it's winding to the left, then it goes uphill again over here, and now you're climbing back up the hill. The elevation change is crazy in Sector 1.
Yeah.
Sector 2 is a bit more simple through the flowing right, but then we got the technical portion, which is the first of two hairpins, left and right. And then we got the final sector, which is starts off tricky, left into a sharp right-hand hairpin. Again, this is an underrated hairpin. It's tricky to take.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah, as the exit speed is so crucial coming onto the back end of the lap. Final corner is great for late braking, and then you wrap up the lap like that. What are the one or two corners that we can cover now, because we don't have much time?
Yeah, actually, they changed the layout, I think, about 2 weeks back for the recent Rotax and SWS race.
Okay.
But as of now, this is the current layout.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What are the one or two corners that you need help with?
Yeah, so basically the tricky hairpin.
This one over here, Sector 3. Cool.
Yeah, Sector 3. And at the end of Sector 3, the other hairpin, the last
over
corner.
Here,
yeah. And
amazing.
I feel like I'm doing okay in the double hairpin, but I feel like there's a scope to improve.
Cool. Let's focus on Sector 3, because these are two important corners. Not only the tight left-hander, but then obviously the more wider right-hand hairpin. The way that these two corners work.
My best lap was the last lap, so I think it's
last lap. Cool. All right.
It's around 12 minutes.
Yep. I think you're starting.
No, it's around the 12 minutes lap.
Yeah. So this is basically the start, right? Start of the best lap.
Yeah.
What was the timing that you did?
112.
112. Interesting. I'm trying to think back to the Saudis, how it was in the rentals in the international layout.
Yeah, I think they used to use the RT8, but I think now they changed it.
Yeah, exactly. The RT8's well, the RT8s they're just using for SWS now, because you can only use Saudi karts if you want to do Saudi World Series. Just simply looking at this onboard footage, I like how you're pushing the limits. Let me put the audio up a little. I think only I can hear this. Yeah, similar to how I predicted. Overall approach is good. You're pushing the limits through there. Number one, use the outside yellow and blue white curb as a reference over here.
Okay.
I like to widen things up as much as possible, because we want to go for not necessarily riding the outside curb, because sometimes that can destabilize the kart. It can hook you on too much. Have you tried using the two wheels on the outside curb over here?
No, I actually mostly use the curb on the first turn, which is the flat out turn.
Flat out,
but
yeah.
I've never really tried using the curbs on this turn.
This is a rumble strip, so the more you go on it, the more it's going to take your kart towards the right. Now, it depends on how much speed you carry when you do that, what angle you hit.
Usually the turn before this, I just lift off slightly
to the left,
because the turn before this.
This one?
Not this one.
The hairpin over here.
Yeah, over there. So it doesn't need braking, just slight lift off, because it's a wide turn.
Yeah.
So I carry a bit more speed into this turn.
That's nice. Hence, we'll need to start using a bit more of the entry on the right side. The wider we can make this corner, think of it in 3 stages. You've got your entry, you've got your apex, and then you've got your exit. The exit you want to straight line as much as possible, and then bring it back towards the left-hand side slowly. So yes, we're going to go for the typical approach of slow in and then fast out over here. Utilize a bit more of the curb. I think in these karts especially, it should be fine. At least 2 wheels on the yellow-white.
Yeah.
When you brake on the rumble, 2 wheels on the blue and yellow, then you're going to get oversteer, right? So control
actually,
that.
From the fellow karters at the track, I heard mixed opinions. Some say that it's better to brake. Some say it's better to just lift off. So I'm not really sure what's optimal.
It all depends on your exit speed, and you can literally, because you're going to the track so frequently, do one session where you're only lifting in that corner, keeping the line the same for the rest of the lap, and then one session where you're only braking at that corner, and see the difference in lap times, because it'll really show you. Now, in the moment, how do you know? Listen to the sound of the engine. Am I increasing my revs on exit, or is it staying low and then it's climbing back up. When it stays low and then it's slowly climbing back up, it probably means you've gone in too fast, you've lost the revs, and it's taking time to build up. Whatever you do at this corner, I think the wider you can approach it, the better. Again, tap of the brake, even a lift you could do. Get the kart rotated early. When you rotate it, for example, that lap, I felt that you went in a bit too hot. You got a bit too much oversteer. Control that. Try to get, 30 degrees of oversteer. That's max. Anything beyond that is too much. And then prioritize your inside apex.
Yeah, and more people said that it's better to take the late apex.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Late apex, as we can see on the track map over here, is so important. So we can do something like the rubbered in line there. And now coming out the corner, more speed.
So on the footage, my current line, is it the early apex or the late apex? Because I feel like it's in the middle.
I can't tell too well, but I think what's happened is you've gone in fast.
Yeah.
And then watch the movement suddenly. If we put it in slow-mo, you got a big snap of oversteer on this lap.
Yeah.
So watch this.
I get oversteer. Yeah.
Now you're sideways, right?
Yeah.
And this is the inside apex, which now mid-corner, look, we're going away from it to the right? So you're drifting a little. Slow it down earlier, be a bit more careful with that initial rotation. And if you want to hit a late apex, you've got to hit it somewhere over here. So you want to go over that curve.
I should carry a bit less speed into the turn and turn a bit later.
I think wider entry, definitely go for a slightly earlier lift or brake. And then you'll have the time and control from the outside to smoothly come back to the inside. Be careful when you apply gas. If you do too much too quickly, you can stab the kart out. And then it'll be tricky. Last corner now. Last corner is you've got so much time to prepare for it. Like you're going down the straight. Okay, when do I brake?
It's the second longest straight.
Exactly. This is actually the final lap. And it's nice. You can see on the onboard footage over here, you're attacking the corner, you're braking late, and you're flicking the kart to the inside. So right now, where's the reference for braking?
So the references for braking is just before the curve ends.
Nice. After this line?
No, it's a bit more further. Yeah, a little more further. It's about over here.
Perfect. So hard late brake. You can see, look, the kart
over
is
there
now
at the end of the curve. And then I slam on the brakes, the initiate rotation.
Yeah.
And then I try to control the rotation into the turn.
Yeah. This corner is simply about slowing fast out again, because it's very easy to lose all of the momentum by braking too late and then sliding too much, because we still got the rest of the lap, which is technically this until the start finish line. So what you could do over here is go for a conservative approach. It's best not to push the braking limits too late. The smoother you are on the brakes and the earlier you can do it means we can get back on the gas earlier. And when you can apply the gas 50 and then 100 once the car is gripped, you'll have so much more exit speed, superior exit speed. So the guy who does a line like this,
but the main problem is with these rental carts, right? Not all the carts have proper throttle. Like some, they go straight 100%. Some, they don't have that much to travel.
It's interesting you say that. We got the same public karting carts, the Birel and N35s. And yes, the travel will vary. Now, within the first 3 laps, you need to establish, obviously, your 100%, which is foot down to the floor. And then something less than 100% is going to be your buffer, right? That's going to be what we call our 50%. So we got the throttle over here. Up here, this is 100.
Okay.
So something halfway, right? And that's based on your feeling under your foot, is what we're going to call 50. Or, as I say, give it something. Okay. So go to this point first. Make sure the kart is gripped. You're not flooding the engine with revs at this point. So on the exit of the corner somewhere over here, where my yellow circle is, that's where you can immediately get to 100. And that travel is short. And the kart, the response is delayed as well, 50 to 100. Okay. That's why you can be a bit more aggressive on the second phase. But that first phase, don't put the foot all the way down. Give it something. It's going to respond. It's going to give you some revs. But that's the sweet spot. A lot of drivers, what they'll do is, you feel at this speed because you've slowed down enough. It's a slower hairpin. You're like, no, let me get back on the gas quickly. Okay. Delay it. Be patient. Let the car grip. And you will win that lap time on the corner exit when you can then go to 100 there. Apex wise, I mean, it's a nice line you're doing.
So just to confirm again, so what you're saying is I should brake a bit earlier, wait, and get on the throttle like just before the apex.
So what you want to do, be conservative with the brake. Here you're going for a late brake, which is fine on a push lap. If you bring it back a fraction of a second, half a meter, half a second before, you'll have more time and control at this phase to then process in your mind, okay, let me give it 50. So immediately when we come off the brakes, we're giving it something. We're getting back on the gas. But we're not getting to 100 now. We're just giving it something to keep it going. And that stabilizes the car.
Just to keep the revs high.
Exactly. Now you have time to precisely look at your apex, right? So you're not overdoing it, we're batting the car. Now I need to get close to the apex, or I'm sliding too much. And then on the latter part, where you've perfectly lined up a late apex, which is ideal for this corner, get closer to the curb and then floor it. From 50, you go straight down to 100. And definitely try to get closer to this part of the curb so it becomes a straight line to the last part.
Okay.
When are you going to go to the track next?
Actually, I got two more main questions, which includes the answer for your
go ahead
question. So first of all, I just wanted to ask which camera should I buy? Like maybe after the 2 months, which good camera for the low light conditions?
DJI. I'm going to move over to DJI now. Whether it's DJI Osmo 4 like Ridley had, or DJI 5, which is the latest one. These are most reliable ones. Recently, I've been experiencing a really annoying thing with GoPro, where everything is fine with the SD card, no issues, and suddenly I hit record. 1 minute later, it automatically turns off. And it only happens on GoPro. On a friend of mine who had DJI, he's never experienced that before. So this is something that I'm getting frustrated with, because you hit record, you think you're recording, and then after the session, it ended automatically.
And so can I just take like maybe 2 more minutes? I just want a explanation for the double hair bit.
I'm afraid we're out of time for today's session.
Okay.
So we're gonna
answer your question quickly.
Up here.
So basically, maybe later this week, maybe on Thursday or next week starting, I'm actually testing a Rotax Kart. So I'm entering Rotax. Maybe hopefully the next week I'm entering Rotax. I have testing maybe this Thursday. So like, do you have any tips for someone who's changing from rental to Rotax?
I've got the perfect video for you. I'm going to leave a link of it over here now. Have you seen my video, rental cart versus owner carts? I've just put it over here in the.
I'm not sure.
Click on this link in the chat, the Google Meet chat.
Yeah.
Have you seen it before?
I'm not sure. I
Cool.
don't think so.
I definitely revised this video. And the biggest difference that you're going to have to get used to is the braking, right? So now
like I should try trail braking maybe.
Exactly that. And actually trail braking, if you search for it over here, trail brake, threshold brake. No, let's put how to. It's a recent one. I think I put 2 months ago, how to trail brake, KTips. Start off with owner car versus rental car, and then this is the one over here. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a nice one to watch. For trail braking, definitely adjust your braking technique, because in owner carts it's about carrying maximum speed on corner entry, hard late brake into the corner, and then bleeding off the brakes.
Yeah, mostly because the revs stay high.
Exactly. You got a more powerful engine, and you can accelerate better.
Yeah, and one more thing. So like,
go ahead.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, what do you recommend for races and all that? Like, I mean,
so races, you're perfectly set up there. Join SWS. Start with SWS.
Actually, the problem is last week there was an SWS race, as I told you.
Yeah.
Problem is for the RT8, I'm supposed to be 15, but I'm 14.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm too tall for the junior carts.
So you're in that. Unfortunate.
I'm like 174 centimeters.
Yeah. And you've tried it, right? You can't fit.
Yeah, I've tried it. I can't fit.
I'm afraid it's going to be a waiting game now, unless you can start doing some owner kart races.
Yeah,
which if that's the direction you're going in, and you can invest the time and money into that, then start with owner karts, because you're going to be in junior.
Yeah, no, actually senior. I've talked to the.
You're gonna be in senior. Okay, perfect. Then make the jump already.
I'm actually gonna buy a second-hand senior maybe next week.
Perfect,
So testing
perfect,
is this
perfect.
weekend, yeah.
Definitely try to join the local series over there.
Yeah. Hopefully next session we meet. I'll be on a Rotex. So yeah.
Looking forward to seeing some footage from that, and
Yeah.
we'll save it for then.
Yeah.
I'm afraid we are out of time. We've just hit the 1 hour mark. It's been an absolute pleasure to everyone who's joined today's track help session. We're going to have to save it until this time next month for the next one. Jeremy, I'm afraid we didn't have enough time for yours. I hope you understand.
Yeah, so good.
Let's keep it for next time. Stay tuned for the track help announcement post. And first, at 3 drivers to submit, we'll be going through your footage. Until then, everyone, take care. Have a good night. See you.
Okay. Thanks a lot.